Greetings everyone, it's great to have you around, and today we are starting our training quite on time. Let me check if we are having anything correct in our stream and if the streaming is working as fluent as it should. Greetings everyone. There we are. You're listening to me double. Okay, so I just muted a little bit my voice so you can hear me without any kind of issues. Today we are covering a quite interesting part of the new technological developments at LDA, which are the NEXO units. NEXO currently is working in a way of including many audio inputs, both balanced audio inputs and also ACSI inputs within a Neo Plus system. Like always, there is a chat in your right side of the screen. So if you have any questions, please feel free to comment them throughout our chat. And let's get started. So let's go into our main website. So we can then track all of our products. If we go to products, we will see we have the Neo Plus PAV systems, the remaining Neo line 1500, and the accessories. And if we click on them, we have the accessories depending on all the families we can work within the LDA PAV systems. If we go to NEXO, you will get all the information you might need describing how the system works, what is the main approach in functionalities we are looking with NEXO, the technical features, and we have a section here where you can get access to many downloadable resources such as datasheets, images, certificates, the latest release in firmware, which is the version number 1 in this moment, and the software we're about to cover today, which is NEXO Config Tool. And also the greatest manual of the system, both the device and the configuration parts of it. All of these materials are currently available at our website, so please feel free to check them and to review them with your PAVA system purchases to see how NEXO works alongside the system. The concept of NEXO is trying to get another line of paging microphones and emergency panels to have as many as possible inputs within the system. You were quite accustomed to the diagrams we had before with other, let's check for instance, we go to our website at LDA. You were quite accustomed to the current bus ACSI that was inside of our system. We could there get at up to 8 microphones, both MPS 8Z and VAP1s, but now since we can get up to 32 microphones per bus ACSI, we decided to increase that number with these NEXO units. I just wanted to show you our latest releases on this. So a cloud. Let's see if we can check into our news. No, we are looking for the diagram to show you this better. There we go. As you can see here at this diagram, we can have several different approaches to our Neo Plus systems. In this case, the current version of firmware of NEXO allows to make connections such as the ones I am about to show you here with some zooming here. We can have an NEXO unit that can carry both balanced audio inputs so as MPS or bus ACSI microphones that can be arranged into a network with different kinds of connectors, and then such connection can attack what we have here as our Neo Plus system with this ring, redundant ring with extensions through all over the system. The current version of firmware allows for the integration of different microphones into each one of these NEXO units. Future releases of NEXO will update the functionalities and will carry out the working as NEXO Hub aggregators of microphones. But for the moment, we have to imagine we can add to one Neo Plus system many bus axes with lots of microphones, up to 32 bus axis microphones or bus axis compatible microphones. To that end, we need to work with several new concepts. What you are seeing here, a sort of system where we have an NEXO unit and a Neo Plus system covering a whole building, it's what we call the domain. The domain is this arrangement where we have a Neo Plus system and an NEXO unit collaborating each other to have many paging microphones all over the system. For each one of these arrangements, we need to create a domain ID. So we have to identify which ones are the domains we are about to configure within our PAVA system. Looking for such purpose, we have to work with two different softwares. In this training, we are about to work with NEO Configurator at its latest release, and also with NEXO Config Tool. In NEO Configurator, as usual, we will have the whole system we want to configure. We want to describe and we want to consider in terms of functionalities, the lines, the different kinds of ACSI inputs into the system, the balance audio inputs, if there is any other AES67 stream, how to program with it. But the same parameters we're about to configure at NEO Configurator need to be expressed themselves into the NEXO Config Tool regarding the microphones within the NEXO device. All of these concepts are also going to be, sorry for the commercial, they are going to appear in our NEXO course we are about to produce and to release this week at LDA Academy. So you will have access to a more detailed and more step-by-step process of the configuration of both NEXO Config Tool, NEO Configurator, and your whole system, all of it working at once. So, currently, we have an NEXO unit that works including 32 ACSI devices within the system, and then making the arrangement to transport such audio as an AES67 stream. We are not working exactly on bus ACSI, we are working in ACSINet. We have an input, which is the classical bus ACSI, and then the NEXO units converts such input into an AES67 stream throughout the whole of the rest Neo Plus system. Okay, arrangements in both loop and then with the use of programmable or configurable switches are available. So both the loop, which is the safest one in terms of redundancy, and the start arrangement of the NEXOs within the system can also be included. Okay. So, let's go into the business. So, we are about to change our... Okay, let's see, we have here... We lost it. A moment, please. Okay, so we sorry, you are not seeing this currently. Okay, just let me modify it a little bit. So what you are currently seeing here is our classical evac cloud software. I'm about to bring it here, and then I will bring myself up. There we go. As we have mentioned in previous trainings, evac Cloud Connect is a tool we have to connect to our evac Cloud unit into the system and then track or make ping to any one of the devices within our PAVA system. For this training, I made myself a private user, as any one of you of our partners into our PAVA business will have, and then I will have access to a training rack we prepared. So if I type my email address from a free provider, we can log into the system, and then I see the different systems I have access to throughout the evac Cloud units I have. You see that my user contains, for the moment, access to 2 different evac Cloud units, and then one of them is already connected to a working system, which is this first one in our headquarters here in Malaga. So if we connect to the system, it is connected and enabled, as you can see there. We will see that we have here this system made by the combination of a Dante 16 unit to make transformations between Dante streams into AES67 streams and vice versa. We have several extensions, which are the 4500, the 4250, the NEXO unit we want to tackle, and 2 main Neo 8060 Plus units, one of them working as controller and the other as a warm backup to the system. One of the functionalities we are about to show you in the next release of NEO Configurator. We will promise it will be quite interesting for you, because you will see then the total flexibility and agility that the PAV system can carry. And then another extension, which is the NEO 4500 Plus. So once we are here at evac Cloud Connect, we can then check our NEXO unit, and then we can open the UDP port with the 60,000 value, and we can just click with the right part of the mouse, and then we can copy the connection endpoint. It wasn't shown there, but I saw it here. I will repeat it. You can copy the connection, and then since the port is open, now I can access our NEXO Config Tool. As we have seen previously, and I will change now to show it to you. Just let me minimize it for a moment. The NEXO Config Tool is already available at our support website, okay? You can have it here. So you just need to download it. Actually, it's quite big. Okay, you can see it here for the moment. If you go there we go. Sorry. Let's see if we can arrange now the size here. So, as I showed you before, you can get access to the software if you go into our products, and then we have here the converter, and if you go into the download section, you can have their access here to the tool I am about to show you, okay? So just as a reminder, because we lost it a few moments ago, I will change now the, okay, we closed it. Okay, so there we go. And then, so what we just did was getting access into our evac cloud unit. Then we looked for the NEXO device here. We opened the port, and then the port was open, and we just right-clicked over the 60,000 you have here on the right side, okay, here. And then you will have two options that currently are not seen there because a sort of issue might be happening with our OBS. But then you copy the connection endpoint, which is one of the two options available, and you have it there. So now we are going into our NEXO Config Tool to show you the software. Okay. Okay, so let's change the point. Let's include another window. There we go. Okay, so here you have our NEXO Config Tool, and then we just opened it and we pressed our access level for the unit. Okay, and then we have here the classical IP box where we could type in the IP address for our unit. But since we already opened the port to get access to our NEXO unit, we just need to go here, and instead of typing anything, we just need to select, erase, and paste the code we got from our evac Cloud Connect. If we press it down, or we just click on Connect, we can then get access to our NEXO Config Tool and then start making the configurations over the NEXO unit. In NEXO, currently we have available two ports, two only options of port. One for the bus ACSI, which is as the same one as we have in Neo or Neo Plus, and an audio input to include any balanced audio input we might need to control over. I will make some zoom over the screen so you can have a better detail on the information available. Okay, so here are the main options you will get in NEXO once you get it open. You have there access to the project, and actually this is a very important part because now in the configuration of your systems, let's see, I clicked on in project and the menus are not being shown. But you will have an option which is config import and config export. When you are making the configuration over an NEXO unit with all the microphones you are including in it, you need to export it because you are about to work now with two files. You will have the file of the NEXO Configurator tool, so as the file from the Neo project. And the data within the NEXO Configurator tool and the Neo Configurator project need to be the same regarding the domain ID we are about to configure. So, if you dive into the system, you will always find an open edit mode where you can then rearrange how your system is working in terms of NEXO and all the parameters you want to change for making the configuration of the connection between the microphones to the PAV system possible. So you can change the name, you can then arrange the IP address, the mask, the gateway access, if you have enabled the FlexNet mode or not into the system, the configuration for the cloaking administration of the system. This domain refers to the domain of the clocking action, but not the domain of the transmission of audio. This domain is not the same as the domain we're about to cover now, okay? They have the same word, but they are different concepts. And you can then run the firmware update or perform a factory reset action over the unit for the system. Then you can dive into, let's confirm changes if we wanted to confirm something. And then you can arrange to perform the audio configuration where you are having the available inputs. Okay, currently you can have the balance audio input, the ACSI bus input, or the AE67 stream running through the system up to the PAV system. These parameters can then be also arranged for the advanced administrators, and then you can arrange even the ports where we used to tackle the AES67 cards and connections throughout the system. If we go to ACSI and ACSINet, okay, we will assume the modifications. We can then go into the most important part of our system, which is the ACSI and ACSINet. And as you can see there, you can configure the domain ID and the sender we are having into the system. In this rack we have, for training purposes, we have one NEXO unit, so we have a sender into the PAV system, and we named the collision between the NEXO and the Neo Plus system as the number 10. So this number 10 needs also to appear when we go into the Neo configurator. The domain ID between the NEXO unit and the Neo Plus system needs to be the same. Else we will not have any sort of contact, and then all of our paying microphones might be showing any sort of faulty behavior, but not because of the hardware of the network or the network working badly, but because we didn't configure them properly. So please, domain IDs need to be the same in both Neo Configurator and NEXO Configurator tool. So you have here also the rest of the parts we described before, and we can then also arrange how the local ACSI bus is going to be configured. For instance, our NEXO unit in this training rack is given the 4th address in the ACSI bus. It's the only one, but we just wanted to have an MPS microphone. We can then declare if the device within the NEXO is installed, the supervision of it. Remember, we are in an EN54 framework, so we need to always have all the supervisions on. And then which of the models available at LDA we're about to work with. If we are using the Plus version, the firmware 1 version, if we are working with the VAP or our latest VAP FES panels for emergency. So we need to declare which ones are the microphones inside this NEXO connection. Then the firmware version, the status, and the status of the microphone. We can then confirm changes. And we also have the function of making the monitor configuration with our MPS 8 set units. To have a deeper description of this functionality, we fully invite you to check our manual, because you have a section that will bring you lots and lots of information over. So, in the device, we configure the device, okay, and then we arrange the IP address, the uses of different VLANs for the control packages or the audio packages within the system. We can then arrange which one is the unit that will take control in the timing of the whole system. We can then go into audio config to see which are the inputs and outputs for the system, and then for the NEXO and then the system. And here we can arrange which one is going to be the number of the domain we're about to work with. Please, very important also, the configuration of senders and domains need to be correlative. So if we have the domain number 2 and then we're able to configure another in a multi-site system, that system should be the domain number 3. If we are having 4 senders in one system, sender number 1, sender number 2, sender number 3, sender number 4. We have available up to 128 options, but we cannot make them work in a non-correlative pattern, okay? We will discard the changes. We also can manage the GPIO ports. We have a monitor to track down all the packages of digital audio coming in and coming out for the system, and we have here a log viewer for the exportation of logs in both emergency status, main status, or if something happened to the installation, we have the FLT or the faulty logs there. So once we finish the configuration of our bus ACSI within the NEXO, we have defined a domain ID where we are telling the system, you are the domain number 4. This number 4 needs to appear in both the NEXO Configurator tool and the NEO Configurator tool. Let's check it now with NEO Configurator. Please pay attention. We just said that we are the domain ID number 10. So if the system is correctly configured, the number 10 should also appear in NEO Configurator. Let's check it out. So I will remove now this, and then I have here our NEO Configurator tool, and I am about to access. Just let me remove a few things. To access to the system, so I will go with my user I have for the training, so this one, and the password, and then I will log in. And I'm having here the arrangement, and then let me check if you are seeing the same as I do. You are not seeing it, so just a moment. Okay, there we go. Just let me try something to show you what happens when we go into the connection. Oh, there we go, there we go. So just let me move a couple of things. And let me check. Okay, so now you are seeing the cloud connection because I entered with my evac cloud user into the system. And as we did before, I have here access. Let's see if I can reduce the size of it. Okay. So I have here access to the system throughout the evac cloud unit. If I double click on it, I am running the connection, and okay, so now you are seeing this, so I can then run a new project, and I can see which are the units I have available here. Our Neo 8060 Plus is the main controller unit we have here. This is the warm backup we program with Neo app, and our 3 extensions. If I pick the Neo Controller Plus and then I import it into the system, let's see if everything is running correctly. There we go. We have here the whole system we have prepared. Here at Neo Configurator version 3, you will have, like usual, the controller unit, with here the filter and all the parameters we worked in our previous training. You have here also the extensions, and then all the extensions with each one of the parameters you can then arrange here. But if we go to the ACSI and ACSINet section, you have here a compatible site with the NEXO Configurator tool we checked previously. And what happens here? The domain UID, the domain ID, again, is number 10. Actually, I am thinking of bringing me back and then show you that what you are seeing here upwards, actually will place myself right here, is the number 10 as we saw in NEXO Configurator tool. So for the moment, both our NEXO unit and our Neo Plus system, they should collaborate and work perfectly when a signal from the microphone into the NEXO is being sent to the rest of the PAVA. If we go now into the Neo Configurator version 3.2.1 of our current software, you will see all the parameters we can arrange now with the ACSI technology or the ACSI concept, because now we have to balance two ACSI inputs. We have the mic remote, the classical mic remote ACSI, the local, which is being called here the ACSI local bus, which is the available mic remote port on the rear side of Neo Plus. Okay, that's still working. You can connect up to 32 ACSI microphones within that input. But then you have also the arrangement of the ACSINet domain. And if you go into the configuration, you will see here the number 10 we gave before, the name we have, and one of the most interesting concepts, which is concurrency. In concurrency, as one of my colleagues in support stated me a few moments ago, we are having now many bus axes to control, or to consider at least. In this system, we have the own bus axis from the Neo Plus, but also the bus axis contained within the NEXO unit. Then we could have at the same time one microphone from the bus axis of the Neo Plus system trying to talk to the system, and another ACSI microphone coming from NEXO, also making communications to the system. And since we stated that the concurrency is number 2, that wouldn't be a problem, because we are telling the system you can expect at least or up to 2 communications made from the different bus axes at the same time. So we could have, I don't know, 20 MPS units in the local bus axis, and perhaps the MPS number 17 is making a connection to the system, whilst we have another 15 microphones in the NEXO device for the Neo Plus system, and the microphone 8 is also paying to the system. And since the concurrency stated here is 2, such connections will not close one to the another. If they were to tackle the same zone because our configuration allows it, then as it happened in the classical bus axis, the first one takes it all. So like this, you will avoid many sort of collapses and smashes into the network of connections. So the same number domain ID appears here at our Neo configurator, and also we can arrange the concurrency for the system. And as you saw it, we have here only one sender, which is supervised. Including NEXO units will bring you lots and lots of audio inputs for your large-scale systems, and all of them will be supervised, providing another step in the security for the EN54 legal framework, okay? So if we apply, because we didn't make any changes, we can then go into the local ACSI bus and then check which are the different kinds of devices we can include for the system. Here you have until 32. You can then consider a plug-and-play installation, and the equipment would be the available microphones with the description as shown here, and the supervision to be marked once the microphone is connected. In the ACSINet profiles, we can then arrange mostly for the different levels of volume we want to address to each one of the microphones, and then the priority of each one of these buses, of these bus axes, the one in NEXO and the one in Neo Plus, over the system are going to have. Okay, so the key part comes here in this custom priority section you want to give to each one of the buses. Okay, these are the concepts for the profiles, and here you have the combinations you can have for zones, as we have described in other courses related to Neo Configurator we made last year. So if we apply to the system, we can then check the local bus, and we can then check how the different ACSINet units are going to work into the system. So we made it. Very important. You're having your NEXO bus ACSI and your Neo Plus bus ACSI. NEXO and Neo Plus require to have the same domain ID for making an appropriate connection between the domain ID in... Sorry, I'm going to magnify myself a little bit. So you need to have the same domain ID in both the Neo Configurator file and your configurator system and your NEXO Configurator tool to make the system to work alongside. If you establish the concurrence of the system, you can then assign that many bus axes can be talking throughout the system at once. Actually, the number of concurrence should be something like total amount of bus axes minus 1. So you can then arrange for avoiding any sort of conflict into the system. So I am about to show our latest part. Sorry, on top. Where am I? Where am I? Oh, I am lost. There I am. We have finished today for our training, and there is a small surprise. This week we are about to release our LDA Academy website, where you will have access to all of these streams once they are published, and also access to our online courses. And this course in NEXO will also be available for you for the network. Let me check if we have some questions over the streaming. Not now for the moment, okay. Oh, sorry, we have here a question by Mr. Krasinski, and we are quite pleased to have him here around. NEXO Hub, it's an upgrade we are having with the next release of firmware. In NEXO Hub, we will have making the NEXO being a NEXO of NEXOs. And then the concentration of microphones within the system would escalate exponentially, since we will program different NEXOs having either one of a bus ACSI, sending the signal to one NEXO working as concentrator, and then this NEXO sending all of these bus ACSI commands to the PAVA system. This will come in the next firmware releases of the unit. I hope I answered your question. I don't know if you are still with us, Christoph, but that's the main upgrade is going to come in the future firmware releases. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope this training was useful for you. Please, thanks for watching. Subscribe to our newsletter for all the news and updates, and see you in a couple of weeks in our next LDA trainings. So, take care and have a nice day. Bye.